Welcome to Top Sports Talk, presented to you by Top Sports News. I am your host, Caleb Jeanette, and as always, right next to me is my co-host, Isaac Deer. Isaac, we only have the 2 episodes left, including this one. We got this one, and then we got next one, which is going to be a huge one. This one is also a huge one, but we got some big things planned. So, how you doing on this fine Tuesday when we're recording, but Wednesday
Yes.
when you guys are seeing this?
Yeah, no, it was great. Got a nice holiday, got to spend it with some family. Got a little bit of a tan, a little pink up here, a little tan up here, like Neapolitan ice cream right now, but I'm pretty good, man. Busy week last week. Very, very busy week last week with all the state tournament games going on for our city teams and our county teams. But man, I am fired up for these last 2 episodes of the season. It's been amazing getting to talk to you every week since August, really. We've talked with each other almost every week since August. So it's been awesome hanging out with you, and it's awesome kind of getting these episodes out. Making more content makes me happy, and I'm happy that we're able to kind of share with the world. And there's not a lot of other places or you know companies in general that do something like this. So I'm very thankful for Top Sports News to kind of give us this platform and help us boost exposure for local athletes. But yeah, these last 2 episodes, I'm fired up and um, I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to talk some state tournament action, state championship action. I'm excited.
Yes, we have a lot to talk about, as a lot of the teams did very well in these state tournaments. But before we get to it, I want to thank our gold sponsors, as always, Invista Credit Union and the Family Guidance Center in the University of Kansas Health System St. Francis campus for continuing to sponsor Top Sports News. But yeah, let's get right into the headlines. So we're going to start it off with Rossville, your 3A state champions for the first time since 2000 after avenging its state tournament loss to Santa Fe Trail a year ago with a 2-0 win.
Does that hurt your Charger
Listen,
soul?
listen, listen. I was not at the championship game, but I was at the games um the day before. And this is about Rossville, so I want to keep it about Rossville. But man, if anybody was gonna beat Santa Fe Trail that
Yeah.
weekend, it was gonna be Rossville. I mean, they were the best team. They were the best team all tournament. Santa Fe Trail was on a streak. Kaylee Washington, their pitcher, was on a real streak, but Rossville broke that streak, and they deserve it. So congratulations to Rossville. Congratulations to the Dogs.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, Rossville's been great all year long. They were the first team to give Wamego a loss this year. They beat Santa Fe Trail to get to state, so that was huge already. And then to kind of clean the field a little bit with Columbus and southeast of Saline and Santa Fe Trail. I mean, that's a pretty solid field, but Rossville's been, I wouldn't say underlooked or overlooked this year, but they were certainly underrated in my opinion. But it wasn't surprising at all that they were the best team in Class 3A this year with the win, with the state championship win. No, and I think when we look back at our spring sports preview as well, I think I might have predicted this one, but pat myself on the back. We'll also get to another prediction I got right later in track, but this one I was certainly happy about. But yeah, this team was special. Like you just mentioned, it brought the dog pound. Its first softball state title in 23 years, and I think you might feel old when I say that because that was in the year 2000.
Mm-hmm.
How's that feel, buddy? Not
Year
good.
before I was born.
Not good. Okay, yeah, it doesn't feel good with me either. Year ago, Rossville lost multiple one-run games and extra innings, and in the state tournament, they lost one-run games and extra innings in the semifinal and the consolation rounds in the 3A tournament. But this year, Rossville was on top, and I don't think you'll find a dog that will complain about that. We got to talk about one of the gutsiest performances from around the Sunflower State in all classes in all sports, not just softball, but every single sport. Got to talk about Rossville's Brenly Deich for a second. She punched out 16 batters on day 2 of the state tournament, the semifinal and the state championship. She pitched in the 6-4 comeback win in the semifinal round against Southeast Saline earlier on in the day. before the state championship against Santa Fe Trail, where she pitched later and got the win. 207 pitches throughout the day. Her arm was probably dangling like a good Kansas City rib. It was probably already falling off the bone. You know what I'm saying? What a workhorse, though. I mean, that's insane. Brinley Dyche has put up insane numbers this year. I think she was 11-6 on the year. She's had some great wins. To end off your senior year like that, to give every ounce of your being to the team to end off the year to win a state championship is incredible. All year long, all year, it wasn't just Brinley all year long. It was the entire team. When you think about it, 1 through 9, Rossville was one of the more solid softball teams in the state. I can mention every single name. They've all had an impact in a way, but it was a complete year overall for Rossville. Everybody on the team performed at an extremely high level this year, and I think that boosted them all the way to becoming state champions. So yeah, like you said, congratulations to Rossville on an incredible year. Incredible year.
Yeah. Another team that had another incredible year was Washburn Rural, who fell to Olathe West in the Class 6A title game after the semifinal absolute marathon to hand Olathe Northwest their first loss of the season. But it was a great tournament and a great state tournament and a great season for Washburn Rural as a whole.
I think that's why I became Neapolitan ice cream, was from that state tournament. Man, I was out in that sun all day in Lawrence, Kansas at Arocha Ballpark. And yeah, marathon is an understatement with that Olathe Northwest game in the 6A semifinal. One of the most competitive, one of the most fun, and one of the most high-performing defensive games I've ever seen in my entire life. It was incredible. It was an emotionally draining and physically demanding game from Washburn Rural in that 6A semifinal against previously undefeated Olathe Northwest. Dude, it was an instant classic, though. It was an amazing, amazing game. Playmakers all over the place. It was truly a situation of some of the best versus the best. It was incredible. But yeah, before the state championship game, Olathe Northwest, that Olathe Northwest game with Washburn Rural will be talked about forever by all parties involved, whether you're on Washburn Rural or Olathe Northwest. It was a spectacle. 12 innings, 3 hours and 12 minutes of absolute great softball, great defensive play. The pitching matchup was amazing. It was 1A, 1B for basically the entire contest. Nebraska signing, Washburn Rural's own, go Big Red behind Caleb's head. Emerson Cope won the heavyweight battle against Ball State commit in Olathe Northwest junior Brianna Severino, who's going to have an amazing senior year next year. Cope finished the game with a win, but at what price? You think about it. She pitched that game with 193 pitches. 136 of those pitches were for strikes. She punched out 14 batters in a complete game, 12-inning performance. I don't think Emerson Cope is real. I feel like she's made out of a factory somewhere. It was unreal. She didn't even blink one time, and I might throw a little bit of shade here at the NFHS reporter that said that she was showing emotions. No, she wasn't showing no emotions. Emerson Cope was as straight-faced, as cool, as calm, as collected as can be. I'm going to disagree with NFHS here. Opinions are my own. They don't reflect my employer, yada, yada, yada. But I saw Emerson Cope as ice cold. She was solid. She was it was just straight face the whole time. She wasn't showing any kind of emotion. She was as cool as can be, which led her to get in the win. She didn't blink for 1 second, no matter. I think she was in 6 or 7 situations where there's runners on second and third, and she only allowed 1 run in a 12-inning contest. Like, that was incredible stuff. I can't hype that enough. It was amazing. And at the plate, she was intentionally walked 6 times. And Olathe Northwest, Kendall Yarnell, she's a junior. I think she's committed to University of Central Florida. She was also intentionally walked, I think, 5 or 6 times. At the end of the day, a genius strategy by Elizabeth Stover for Washburn Rural and Olathe Northwest. That was the smart move to do. Fans were angry about it. They were not happy that these players were getting intentional walk. They wanted kids to play ball, but it's to a chance to win a state title. And I think that was a smart move at the end of the day by both coaches. It really paid off. Um, Casey Bath, Washburn Rural senior. I mean, she had a great game in the outfield. She had an amazing diving catch that kept the game 1-1, and then she had an outstanding double play as well in the outfield that kept the game 1-1 as well, where she caught the ball pretty deep in the outfield, and then she just zipped it on home for a double play, and that was to keep the game at 1-1. I believe that was either in the ninth or the 10th inning. Incredible play. Casey Bath was amazing in the outfield, and I mean that's basically the Casey Bath and Emerson Cope legacy game. It was incredible, but don't want to leave out Nadia Way, Reagan Chapman, Ava Fowler. They also had some outstanding defensive plays that kept the game in reach. But at the end of the day, Piper Titsworth, senior, she drove in 2 runs from a sac fly in the top of the 12th, and that would be the win to get to the state title game. But it was definitely evident after an extremely exhausting semifinal game against Olathe Northwest that it was going to take a toll on them against Olathe West, because they basically played 2 games in one. It was rough on everybody, but Washburn lost to Olathe West 10-0. The Owls won their first state softball championship in school history, but Olathe West, top to bottom, they're not a joke. They are completely stacked. They have Mizzou commit Madison Walker, who hit 2 solo home runs that game. They have Allie Miller, Emma Veach, Emma Heineman, Brevin Kelporis, and those are some names that you probably are not familiar with because most of our audience is from Shawnee County, but they are incredible players. But at the end of the day, it was an amazing year for Washburn Rural, and that semifinal game will be remembered forever as being one of the best games. Just being a part of that was super cool experience, and defensively, like that was a dream game for anybody. But great day. Obviously didn't end the way that Washburn Rural wanted to. There was a lot of smiles in the dugout, even with the loss, knowing that like today was really special, and it was one of those days that they'll never forget.
Yeah, 100%. And then another team we want to mention in this softball state tournament was Shawnee Heights for placing 3rd in 5A as well.
Yeah, and they came in as the last seed. They came in as the number 8 seed, which I think they probably expected coming into this tournament. But as the 8 seed, what did they do? Well, they knocked out the number 1 seed, Bishop Carroll, in the opening round, giving them their 2nd loss of the year. Shawnee Heights is just filled with dogs top to bottom. I mean, Shawnee Heights is incredible as well. We talk a lot about softball in this county for a reason. There's just amazing players all over the place. But the number 8 seed knocked out the number 1 seed. No big deal there. But yeah, especially without the effort throughout the team. It wasn't 1 or 2 players. It was basically everybody. Allie Miller, Carlin Bowman, Audrey Schulte, Taylor Breeze all had big hits in the game. Grace Proctor threw a 2-hitter with 8 strikeouts as well. I mean, incredible day for them to knock out Bishop Carroll. They win the 3rd place game to clinch 3rd in the state. And that, I mean, honestly, that was a big tournament for them. Even though they didn't come out on top as state champs, that was still a really cool thing for them to do. And with a pretty young team, not a lot of seniors graduating, that's very, very good for them for the future. Which is, I mean, spring sports fly by, but it's going to come up, and they're going to have a great young roster ahead. And yeah, Shawnee Heights is got a great future in front of them, but this was a memorable tournament for sure.
Yeah. And then moving over to baseball, we didn't have any state champions, but we had some teams competing with Topeka High and Seaman both falling short in their opening round state tournament games.
Yeah, and Topeka High is the true definition of a Cinderella story. It took them 76 years to get to that spot that they competed to last weekend. 76 years. 1940, math, 47?
I don't think that's right, but
1947 plus 76. That's got to be right?
2023 minus 76 was some quick math. Wow, 1947.
Whoa, hey
You
now,
are right.
okay.
That's on me.
Math
It's on me.
math pod. No,
Math podcast.
we're a math pod for sure. They were pretty much neck and neck with Derby for the first four innings. You know, things didn't go right in the fifth inning. There were some defensive errors, and Nate Plankinton was pitching his behind off for Topeka High. His pitch count got really, really high going into the fifth inning, and Derby, as good of a team as Derby was, they kind of capitalized in the fifth inning with a big. Uh, I forgot how many runs that inning they scored, but Derby would eventually walk away and advance, and Topeka High would leave empty-handed. But at the same time, they weren't empty-handed. I mean, I was at that game at KU, and I talked to Topeka High head coach Cody Miller afterwards. Completely optimistic about his guys for the future. At the same time, very sad that his seniors he couldn't have his seniors out on the field one more time, but I'm extremely thankful for them at the same time. But now the younger guys, the juniors that will be seniors next year, the freshmen that will be sophomores that will be juniors, they got a taste of what it's like now. They the big stage at KU. Oh man, it's perfect. I mean that field is beautiful. You want to go back to there every single year. It's a good time. You get to face the best of the best. But with stellar leadership, Cody Miller's got a great coaching staff over there. A very hungry and optimistic bunch coming back next year. They're going to be ready to get back and be better than ever. But yeah, Topeka High, great year for them. 76 years in the making, and it was not a disappointing year at all for them. And I'll go with Seaman here. Yeah, those boys had a heck of a year. They are a true dynasty with baseball in the state of Kansas for sure. I mean, Coach Oliva and the crew. I mean, every single year they're poised to make a run. They can get bounced out in the first round of state like they did this year, or they can win a state title. They're still there every single year. Past 19 years, they've been in that same situation. So, they're not just given everything. They don't just show up and they're given a state tournament guarantee. They work for everything that they have, and they have just a bunch of workhorses and a bunch of dudes there. They've produced year after year after year, and it's just been remarkable. And they have an excellent group of seniors that are leaving this year, but overall, they have a great set of players coming up. We've already seen some quality time on the field, but yeah, Seaman isn't going anywhere, and I expect them probably to be close, if not in the same situation next year.
Yeah, 100%. Moving over to what's it called? The pitch? Soccer field's called the pitch. Heck yeah, look at me. Getting the lingo down. Washburn Rural and Hayden girls soccer teams both clinched third place finishes in their respected Is that the way you say it? Respected tournaments?
I think so. I think that could be it.
Supposed to know this stuff, journalism, but
yeah, I'm not very good with words, which is kind of surprising, but yeah, man. 6A Washburn Rural, they had to face Mill Valley a second time, and that was tough for them in the opening round because Mill Valley, I think they ended up winning the state championship. Mill Valley's been respected. They've been a tough out for anybody this year, but it was a tight game between Washburn Rural and Mill Valley. I think it was a 1-0 finish there, but in the third place game, the Junior Blues were able to handle Manhattan pretty comfortably in the third place game, which is always nice to end your year on a win. It's even nicer if you beat a rival to end your year. So, yeah, overall, Washburn Rural had a really sensational year. And I think people that watch this show weekly know that Washburn Rural's been really, really good this year. So, yeah, they were one of the most dominant teams at home. So when they were playing on their home turf, I don't think they lost all year. I don't even think they allowed a goal all year at home. So that was pretty crazy. They were if they weren't the best defensive team, they were up there. They were very close to being one of the best defensive teams in all classes. Man, they graduated a great senior class, but that's going to stink for Coach Brian Hensel. But at the end of the day, there's something in the water at Washburn Rural that tells me that they're going to be fine and they're going to have a good program next year. But yeah, so Hayden, we'll flip to 4 through 1A here. Very, very nice. exclamation point this. Very unlucky draw in the first round to draw seven-time defending state champion Bishop Miege. They were six-time when this happened, but as of last Saturday, it is seven-time defending state champion Bishop Miege in the first round, where they lost that contest 4-1. Not bad. I figured out after that game, though, Hayden with the stones, with the confidence, they scheduled Bishop Miege on their schedule for next year. So we're going to have a rematch next year. That'll be fun. But yeah, so Hayden in the third place game, after taking a tough loss to Bishop Miege in round one, they would have a rematch against Baldwin City in the third place match. Hayden beat Baldwin earlier in the year 4-0. I was at both the regular season meeting and then the state tournament meeting at DeSoto last Saturday. And Hayden, quite honestly, dominated both of them. They won the third place match 2-0. Jill Leonard, Sloan Sims both had goals. Overall, Hayden had just an extremely special year, and it was pretty diverse too within their lineup. They had a great mix of seniors. They had 6 seniors, 9 freshmen in their starting lineup. I think in their starting lineup or just overall, they had a great group, though, great diverse mix, and they'll have some great seniors graduate this year, but next year they're going to have some stellar seniors as well. Some great underclassmen coming up, and really the future is pretty bright for the Hayden girls soccer team.
Yeah, for sure. It's been exciting to watch. And before we get to our big time announcement, we have some track state champions to get to after a very busy pair of days in Wichita. Topeka was represented greatly with some outstanding performers with a ton of medalists from various schools.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's start out in Chargerland here. We're going to go with Topeka West. Ali Cisco Batson, his freshman year, he left empty-handed at Wichita at the state track championship, but this year he got the gold, baby. After he's had a stellar sophomore year, we've talked about him quite a bit. He is the number one in Class 5A in the boys triple jump. He beat out Trey Richardson. They went 1-2 in the triple jump. He had a jump of 46 feet, 5 3/4 inches. You see that? I got that. I got the numbers today. Googled it right before we hopped onto the show. Anyways, Mr. Batson, though, big day. Beating out Trey Richardson for the triple jump championship in Class 5A. Leaving Wichita with the gold in that massive weekend with like a zillion schools. That's just incredible stuff. You know what's better than winning one title? 2 titles. 2-time Trey Richardson. Speaking of the devil himself, he left Wichita with 2 state titles. He scored 33 points on his own in the weekend. He himself, Trey Richardson, solo, individual, Trey Richardson, outscored 22 other 5A schools. Cracked the scoring column by himself. Highland Park finished 9th as a team, but Trey Richardson by himself outscored 22 5A schools.
That's ridiculous.
Think about that. That is insane. But after finishing second in the triple jump against Batson from Topeka West, he won the 100-meter dash in 10.73 seconds, which he didn't know before going to Wichita that he was going to run the 100-meter dash. He just went out there and did it and won a gold medal, which is also pretty crazy. And he won in the long jump as well with 23 feet, 4.5 inches before taking a 4th place finish in the 200 with 22.49 seconds on Saturday. That's 4 events. That is a lot. But congratulations, Trey Richardson, for being awesome and ending out your legendary high school career with some gold. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But a couple more to get to here. We're not done yet with the gold medals. 5A was awesome for Topeka, but pretty good as well as Jackson Esquivel from Shawnee Heights, kind of known as the distance king in the 1 mile, 2 mile, and the 800-meter dash. He's been awesome all year. He won state in the 2 mile. He won his first state title, and he got a personal record in 9 minutes and 18.67 seconds. Another 1-2 duo. We had a 1-2 finish with the triple jump with Trey Richardson and Batson. This one we had a 1-2 finish with Jackson Esquivel as being number one, and a city rival, a friendly city rival with Lenny Narogi of Topeka West. They were 1 and 2 in the 2 mile. So congratulations both Lenny and Jackson Esquivel for winning a state title in that one. And then we got to talk about the big day that the Hayden Wildcats boys team had. Now, Jake Muller and Finn Dungey had huge days, but overall, Hayden had a lot of gold at the end of the day. The Wildcats got individual 4A state champions from Jake Muller and Finn Dungey, who were teamed up with Jensen Schrickle and Liam Stegman in relay wins. But Dungey started out the day for Hayden. He was actually the top qualifier for the 100-meter dash in 4A. Ended up winning that in 10.84 seconds. By the way, I predicted this on our last episode. I did say Hayden was going to leave with some gold. I said Dungey was going to win. I think I may have said Muller was going to win, but yeah, didn't jinx anybody this time. I didn't jinx nobody. But big congrats to Finn Dungey there. Jake Muller, he won a state title in the 300-meter hurdles as well. 38.41 seconds. He beat out Eudora's Connor Dunback, who was 38.43 seconds, 0.2 seconds away there. That's crazy. 0.02. But Muller and Dungey picked up their other 2 gold medals on the day in the 4x1 and the 4x4, teaming up with Stegman and Schrickle in both events. So big, huge day for Hayden boys track team. But for any other track coverage from Wichita, Rick Peterson was there all week last week. Go check out the website, topsports.news. There's track stories all over the place. Boys, girls. He updated the final honor roll sheet for track, Shawnee County boys and girls track and field honor roll. Go check that out. Some amazing track coverage that Rick Peterson has provided all year, but it's on the website. Click it right now. It'll be, I think, page 1 and 2. So go check that out.
Yes. That's going to wrap it up for our sports coverage. Not of the year. I don't want to say of the year.
We got another episode.
Because we got another episode. But it's a special episode.
Yes.
So I'm just going to get right into what we're doing this week. Instead of Fay 5 this week, due to so many champions being crowned, we have something huge to reveal to you. In our last ever episode for you guys, next week on Top Sports Talk, Isaac and I will be picking our top male and female athletes for each season with a fall male and female athlete of the year, winter, and spring. Right now, we'll announce the finalists for each category. As you can probably guess, this was an extremely difficult decision. It was narrowed down from 50 different names for each category all the way down to 6. So if your name wasn't called, you might have been very close to making a list, but you're just short. We are both extremely proud of everybody's seasons and that each athlete contributed to their teams and made our job extremely easy this year, getting to talk about a bunch of really good athletes. So we'll have our awards, our official Top Sports Talk awards episode next week, but let's start with the finalists. Isaac, you want to get the fall?
I would love to get to the fall. Yeah, absolutely. So our fall male finalists, our Top Sports Talk fall male finalists this year. We're going to start out with Shawnee Heights' Alan Bowman, running back for the T-Birds, and Jason Swift's crew had a sensational year. We got 5 more here. We're going to go Brayton DeWeese, quarterback for the Washburn Rural Junior Blues, Trey Richardson, kick returner, punt returner, wide receiver, DB for Highland Park, Ty Weber, linebacker, Washburn Rural. 2 more after this. We have Easton Bradstreet, who's a forward for Washburn Rural soccer team. Lenny Narogi, cross country for Topeka West. Those are our fall male finalists. Alan Bowman, Brandon DeWeese, Trey Richardson, Ty Weber, Easton Bradstreet, and Lenny Narogi. Our fall female finalists, we're going to start out with Washburn Rural Volleyball's own Brooklyn DeLay, who is heading to Kentucky this summer to be a student athlete at the D1 level. Brooklyn DeLay starting things off. And then we have Kinsey P. Ryan from Rossville, volleyball, Lois Dieter, Seaman Golf, Jada Ingram, who was also on the same team as DeLay, Washburn Rural Volleyball here, Madeline Carter, Washburn Rural Cross Country, and Lauren Sweeney for Seaman Tennis. Those are your fall female finalists with Brooklyn DeLay, Kinsey P. Ryan, Lois Dieter, Jada Ingram, Madeline Carter, and Lauren Sweeney.
Yes, for sure. Now getting over to the winter, where we have some pretty heavy hitters as well with Bo Aldridge from Highland Park, obviously on the basketball team, Easton Broxterman for wrestling from Washburn Rural, Josh Hammonds, also from Washburn Rural on the bowling team, Jack Miranda, also from Washburn Rural on the swimming team, Joe Otting from Hayden for basketball, and Jackson Thomas, state champion wrestler from Seaman. Then moving over to the female athletes, Kiki Smith from Topeka High, the basketball player, Mackenzie McDaniel, dominant basketball player from Silver Lake, Amelia Ramsey, another dominant basketball player from Highland Park, Katie Price, once again, pretty dominant from Seaman on the bowling team, Addison Broxterman, as you can guess it, dominant, Washburn Rural's wrestling team, and then you don't get more dominant than Kendra Hurler from Rossville, also on the wrestling team. So some pretty heavy hitters on this on these winter female and the winter as a whole. But then getting to the spring, going to start off with a male stud pitcher, Bryson Votter from Seaman. On the baseball team, Ian and Miles Cusick. You can't separate them. Can't separate them into two. You got to keep them together. They're on the team, the doubles team, state champion doubles team from Topeka West. And the tennis, Alex Valdivia from Shawnee Heights on the golf team, Jackson Esquivel from Shawnee Heights on the track team, and Jake Muller and Hayden on the track team, and finishing out, staying in Hayden with Cooper Grace on the baseball team. So good list there as well.
Yeah, and we'll finish it out with the spring female athlete finalists for Top Sports Talk. Caleb and I have enjoyed putting these lists together and doing every show every week, but we're going to finish it out right here with the spring female list. We're going to go with Emerson Cope from Washburn Rural softball, go Big Red, as you can see behind Caleb's head. We're going to go with the cousin of Emerson Cope, Addison Carroll from Topeka High softball, who was basically Babe Ruth this year. Grace Proctor, Shawnee Heights softball, the sophomore stud this year. Grace Proctor, she's made the list. Avery Walls from Seaman swimming team. Bethany Druce from Seaman's track team. And finishing out the spring female finalist list is Elijah Brooks from Topeka West track team. And so that's Emerson Cope, Addison Carroll, Grace Proctor, Avery Walls, Bethany Druce, and Elijah Brooks to finish out our finalists. I'm excited to get to the show next week to talk about all these wonderful athletes.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And just to clarify, there will be two winners from each category. Isaac will have his winner. I will have my winner. We will have different winners throughout the board, so we don't get any duplicates. But yeah, looking forward to it. Maybe I show up a little nicely dressed. Maybe I wear myself a little tie for the award show. Getting pretty serious in here, so we're gonna have some fun with that. There you go. Isaac's already ready. If you didn't know, we're gonna record the award show right after this. No, I'm just kidding. That's not gonna happen. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But yeah, can't wait to film the award show, but that's going to do it for this week's episode. Congratulations to all the state champions. Congratulations to everybody who competed this past weekend. It was great. I guess competition's over. So congratulations to everybody who competed, all year, whether it be fall, winter, or spring. It feels like it just started, really. It feels like we just started this podcast, and it's been a journey. It's been a good journey. Thank you guys for tuning along. Thank you guys for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet and you are still watching, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and make sure you tune in to this special award show for the last episode of this season for Top Sports Talk. But Isaac, you got anything else before we sign it off?
Love all of y'all. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
We will see you guys next week.
We will show up fancy and formal for you.
Yes.
Not
super excited.
Unicorn WWE shirt. We'll come up formal.
I got trees on mine, but yeah, super excited. So we will see you guys next week.